presentation. Is it ready to go?
Yeah, you're up.
See, I never get the clicker at home. I have 2 teenagers, so I'm not allowed to use it. It's too technological. First of all, John, thank you very much for having me. I'm sorry I didn't get here earlier. I would have liked to heard some of the other comments. And yes, I am part titanium. I just thought I'd let you know. I did have that hip surgery. I thought maybe I would just talk briefly about current challenges within the city of LA, briefly talk about what's going on with the budget, how are we handling that from a strategic perspective, trend strategies, and some of our initiatives. And I think we'll hold questions right till the end, till the panel. And I think everyone has pretty much alluded to this. It just, you know, we have no money, we have no cash, we have no capital, but yet we have more customers, they want more change and more innovation. I mean, the demand is going up. And I have said this maybe 18 times in the last 5 months that in an economic downturn, the pressures on an IT organization actually go up. So that is the group you actually shouldn't cut because we're an enabler of utilizing different technologies for efficiency purposes and cost cutting. So I will continue to repeat my mantra. Somebody will listen to me eventually. We have been cut so much in the city, as you can see. We're going from, we're a central IT organization with many decentralized IT organizations throughout the city. So this is a central IT budget, this is like the stock market ticker. I got to update it every day. It's $106 million right now, but we are going down in the next fiscal year to $91 million. So that is a very significant change, and I anticipate it's going to go lower, actually, given the way things are going. So we had 3 very simple philosophies for developing our budget this year. One was to retain the IT skill sets required to keep the lights on. Optimize technology services to reduce cost, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and then reduce headcount for non-system functions and minimize impact to systems. We do a lot of other things within our organization. We have TV stations, we have 311, we have other ancillary services, and when we're looking at in totality and saying if we have to make these cuts, we're going to prioritize keeping the lights on, for key application areas, public safety, et cetera, and then everything else. And so that's, trying to dumb it down for the general managers and the elected officials. This has basically been our philosophy. Very briefly, you can see over the past 6 or 7 years that we are now way below where we were in terms of funding for 03 and 04, yet we have a whole lot more technology. Same thing from a staffing perspective. This is a headcount chart just to show you the amount of decrease in headcount that we are experiencing and will continue to experience. So 817 positions, down to 705. It's going to be lower than that. We think it'll be about 620. I didn't update this in the last week. That's supposed to be a mouse, not a rat. But anyway, everybody tells me it's a rat. This is the complete spend of the city of LA. We spend close to $400 to $500 million on IT. The central group, as you can see, well, I didn't obviously update this slide. It was 93 before. It's 91 now. I tell them they keep nibbling at this piece of cheese instead of attacking the whole. And this is one of the impetuses now for us to start looking at shared services and IT consolidation within the city, because this piece of cheese can't get much lower. We're really trying to articulate what does this mean, to elected officials and general managers in the city. If we have such a reduction, we are going to eliminate off-hour support for all of our systems except for public safety. Nobody likes to cut services. We always talk about cutting dollars and cutting headcount, and that seems to be mutually exclusive of cutting services. Yet we all know that that isn't the case. We are going to do something that is so against our IT religion, and we're going to be doing routine maintenance during business hours. And again, not something that we want to do, but we are really hamstrung right now. Reduce network and data center support with primary focus on break fix and delay planned installations. And I'm just giving you examples just to give you a flavor of how tough it's going to be. Increase telephone network and outage repair time due to reduced staffing levels, and reduced number of vehicles. We have 3,000 physical locations in the city, and we have gotten rid of now about 50 vehicles, so it's going to take us longer to get places, if we can't repair it remotely. And then we have more to come based on whatever's happening. I did this bubble chart for the general managers of the city last week, and I said, this is basically how our current IT service delivery occurs. And you can see the balloons are all over the place, but we have 2,400 applications that we can count. We have more than that. We have about 480 servers managed centrally and another 500, 600, we don't know, decentrally. We have 32,000 non-standardized desktops, and I can keep going on and on, but you can see when you have, everything of every flavor and your cost structure is going down, you can't support this. So I told them this is utopia, and we certainly are not going to get here next year, but look at a reduction. We're going to have a reduction in IT spend whether we do some of these things or not, because they're just chopping it off, so it's how are we going to get there? Governance process with consistent IT project management, where we're aiming for, over the next few years, a 25% reduction in the number of IT applications. And you can see on and on, but basically the bottom line is we are moving to a centralized IT organization with a very robust governance process, and something we don't do well in the city, and that's having well-defined business cases for all of our IT initiatives. We're doing this over the next few years in these areas: consolidation of organization, consolidation of data centers, virtualization, all of that kind of stuff. Standardization, we have, as you can see, when you have 32,000 desktops, there's no standards. And then modernization, and it's going to come in a number of flavors here. And again, I've talked a little bit about this. I'm cognizant of my time, so I don't want to spend that much time. But we are attacking every single area. We do have, like that Adrian talked about, some of the soft skills. When you have people that have worked in an organization for 30 years, they don't bring a lot of fresh new thinking in many cases to an organization. I said to a bunch of my staff a few weeks ago, how many of you have a Facebook account? And maybe a quarter of the room raised their hand. And I said, by Monday, I want you to all have a Facebook account. I said, you all need to know how people are looking at technology and how they're using technology today. You need to know that so that we can move also from, how many of you have been to In-N-Out Burger? You guys haven't been to In-N-Out Burger? The guy that stands at the end with the flip chart, when you drive through and he says, do you want fries with that? That's our IT department. We just sit there and we take orders. And that's the way the mentality of the group has been. I said we're going to move out of the In-N-Out Burger scenario to being a business partner and a consultant, as opposed to just doing whatever they say and being droids or automatons without having any input into driving the value of government.